Welcome to Founders Forum. My name is Executive Trustee David Renty. I don't have the time. I just don't have the time. Man, if I had the money, boy, what could I do? I just don't have the time. Have you heard these comments before? We've all made them. Today, the Founders Forum discussion centers on this very topic of getting control of the two demons of life that seems to dictate what you and I do on a daily basis. I'll tell you what, why don't you just pause for the next 25 minutes as we hear from the CMI founder and executive trustee, Mr. James E. Aldrich Jr., on the topic, It's About Time and Money.
Thank you for inviting me back with you today. My goodness, do I have an incredible subject matter today. To me, it has to be the most valuable also. I can remember a study survey of 100 people who were asked what do they wish they had more of, and 97% of them said time and money. It's about time and money. This statement means something entirely different in CMI versus how it's normally used in the financial industry. You've heard the term over and over again. Time is money. You waste time, you waste money. But how differently is the perception of time and money for those that are informed versus the uninformed? Hopefully, by the end of this audio tape, your perception about time and money will be changed completely. And you will be able to get full control over your time and money once and for all. I'm sure we would all agree that these are two important elements in all of our lives. When you think about it, time is the only asset that we share equally. What each of us does with this valuable asset makes all the difference between us. And the only difference in this asset is what each of us chooses to do with this most valuable commodity. When you actually look at the time available between working, sleeping, commuting, personal hygiene, and eating, this will take up about 21 of the 24 hours available. This leaves only 3 to 4 hours of discretionary time. That is time that you decide what to do with. It's what you decide to do with those precious few hours that will make the difference between you and other people. You can watch TV, you can take a nap, go to school, play with the children, or even manage your investments, or even a number of things. Ultimately, it comes down to this. The only difference between where you are now and where you will be 5 years from now is how you choose to spend these precious 3 to 4 hours. Because much of our time is spent working to make money, that fact alone demonstrates the importance we all place on making money. Making money is not really the issue. There's a lot of things you can do to make money. Making enough money is where the challenge comes in. I'm sure we'll all agree to that one. You must consider how much of that discretionary 3 to 4 hours are consumed in finding additional sources of income just to make ends meet because of our economic conditions today. You must consider how much of that discretionary 3 to 4 hours are consumed in finding additional sources of income just to make ends meet, especially in our economic times today. In 1966, $50,000 a year would afford you a lifestyle of ease. Today, that same lifestyle would take almost $200,000. This incredible decrease in your purchasing power is unbelievable when you consider the majority of this decrease is consumed in taxes and inflation alone. Consider this. Your wants and desires increase year after year, while your incomes and purchasing power never seem to keep pace. Look at how your dreams continue to grow of having a home of your own, expensive and extensive vacations, exotic sports cars, Ivy League college educations, giving to charity, clothes, jewelry. How many of you have ever given serious thought to how you would ever achieve such dreams? Even if you have the money, you must have the time. And if you have the time, you must also have the money. Almost every one of you has a time-money problem. This becomes very evident when we lack the time and money to do something we really want to do, whether it's going on that extended vacation or just simply the desire to stay at home with the children. Believe me, if you do not have enough time to enjoy your money, or enough money to enjoy your time, then you definitely have a time-money problem. I guarantee you the situation will only get worse unless you do something immediately about it. Now, most of you are sitting around thinking that by osmosis, your financial position is going to get better without having to do anything. Most of you truly feel that your financial position is going to take care of itself, and that in some way you're going to be a little better off next year than you were this year. What is truly the likelihood of this being the case? If you do not do something different this year than what you did last year. There are many myths about time and money in our society today. How about this one? It takes a lot of money to make a lot of money. Or how about this one? You can only earn so much money because you can only work so many hours, and you can only get so much per hour. Here is a really good one. The more time you spend in school, the higher your income will be when you get out. Actually, you don't need a lot of money to make a lot of money. You can actually earn more than your personal time and hourly input than a job will allow. And while there is a positive relationship between education and income, we all know today education is no longer the magic solution. What you actually need is a way to maintain and increase your present income, and at the same time decrease your time commitment in the future. I'm sure you will all agree that, in addition, it must be a way that will not disrupt or interfere with your primary income. Let's look at a definite practical solution to your time money problem. First, just a quick little secret. You can actually buy as much time as you wish with money, and by using the additional time wisely, your earnings can be unlimited. It's very important that each individual coming into CMI have a very definite goal in mind of what they would like to achieve. This goal must then be backed by a serious commitment of time. Combine that with a modest commitment of money, and you will have a fantastic opportunity to actually leverage your time and money. Now, what do I mean by leveraging your time and leveraging your money? If you could find a way to do something one time and then get paid over and over again with no further work effort or time commitment, you would have an unlimited opportunity to gain as much time and as much income as you so chose to leverage into. Simply give up a little time and money now for a lot of time and money later. How many of you have ever considered a little known fact of how long will a person actually save for a college fund, retirement fund, or safety nest egg? On average, we're looking between 25 to 30 years in a beginning savings process. With the 3 to 4 hours per day of discretionary time that I mentioned earlier, in a 7-day period, you would have, on average, 28 hours per week of time that you decide what to do with. 4 hours out of the 28 still leaves 24 hours in a week of discretionary time for your family, friends, recreation, etc. A minimum 4 hours per week is all that it would take to enlist a TASA account that would produce monthly income to you for the next 25 to 30 years. Most importantly, you establish this account one time for continuous ongoing income. If your goal was to duplicate your monthly income so that you could release an additional 8 to 10 hours a day from your job, once you establish the necessary amount of accounts to duplicate that income, you now have a potential source of income for the next 25 to 30 years. How much time did you leverage with the 4 hours per week? You now have gained 8 to 10 hours per day, 5 days a week. That's a minimum of 40 hours per week that you have now leveraged into. With your income now duplicated, what could a possible additional 40 hours a week mean to your family, your lifestyle, and your financial position? That additional time could be used to bring in even more income. This term, it takes money to make money. In CMI, it simply takes time to make money. It's up to you to evaluate your own principles and decide which is more important to you, time or money. There are many things you can do to earn money. That's not the issue. The issue is how much time will it take to earn that income? What is the sacrifice on the family unit in your earning efforts? Let me place just a couple of concepts in your mind I have learned from past mentors and experience. With money, you can buy an endless source of time. With time, you can earn an endless source of money. Too little time, not enough money. Too little money, not enough time. How on earth do we get a balance? How do we combine the little we have to get more time and money so we can do what we want? Let's realistically have a quick talk about retirement. Retirement is about having the time to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and have the money to do it with. Nothing more than that. People thought, it was so great when I retired at age 40. Actually, it wasn't any great feat. I made a committed decision to use the little money I had to buy more time, and I used that freed up time to make more money so I could live the lifestyle I desired. My income increased incredibly when I had more time and money, as you could imagine. I hired a team to manage my real estate. This released me from the normal time involved in my real estate. This free time opened more time to buy more property. More property meant more money. Now let's look at you. A little time, a little money. What tools in CMI do you have to use 4 hours of the 28 hours of discretionary time per week I talked about earlier? Let's look at just 2 of CMI's tools with just the TASA and our debt reduction program, the financial reorganization. First, you change over your conventional savings to a TASA. This process will in turn free up funds for you. Next, complete your financial reorganization, which also frees up funds from your reduced debt. Repeat only this 2-step process with friends, family, and prospects. TASA accounts will be established from this process. Now, let's say you have $5,000, $10,000 a month coming in. Use this monthly income to start purchasing cash flow real estate or other cash flow investments. From all of your income sources, let's look at you in the $15,000 to $20,000 a month mark. Take part of those funds and hire a team to run your operation. Guess where this puts you? Start your vacation or retire into the lifestyle you desire. If this sounds simple, that's good. It's supposed to be. If it's simple, and if it's simple enough, maybe you will get on with it and do it. Let me share a little secret with you. I did not have a TASA or the DPR as tools to work with when I started. You know what this means? You can achieve these same results and this same success in a much shorter time than I did. Your time period can be drastically reduced. This is only one example. You can set many plans in place. But if you don't have the right tools, forget the plan. There are many ways. This is only one. You must determine if this is your way, then stick with it until you're done. Even if you look at the simple tools that are needed, 4 hours per week, existing savings, desire to get out of debt, desire to help others, and last, a strong desire to control both time and money. Sometimes we have families that ask for what they really don't want. I've seen this happen many times in CMI. In CMI, it's very important to decide what your priorities will be for your family and their life. Here is a perfect example of what I mean. We had a couple whose only goal in CMI was that the wife would not have to work and could be home raising the children. We established what dollar figure would be needed in order for her to securely leave her job and be at home with the children. The time and money was put forth and the income was created. When she was in the position to leave her job, the family instead decided to raise their standard of living. I started noticing new clothes for the children and the parents, new cars, furniture, etc. Why and how did this occur? Quite simple. They were earning double the wife's income, which was their goal in the first place. So instead of following through with their original plan, they got sidetracked by the lure of the additional income. What they thought was important to their family apparently was not the true principle of their family. Had time for the family been the true focus, as their debt had been eliminated and the income was coming in, the first thing that would have happened is the family would have rejoiced in the mother's retirement and went on into their new life. You must understand, to have the time and money to do what you want, when you want, and how you want is an incredible lifestyle to have. Know that it does not take being a multimillionaire, only just deciding the lifestyle that is best for you. That's the only thing that's necessary. We have found that between time and money, time is the most precious and valuable of the two. New clothes, cars, furniture, money, you can always get back and more of. What you can never get back is time. Take this from someone who knows from experience of spending 18 to 20-hour days, 7 days a week to build a company like CMI. Many of you have heard me confess on a few occasions that if I had to do this all over again, I would not. I would not put my family through such a sacrifice of time. To have full control over your time and money, and thereby regaining full control over your life. What is 4 hours per week that CMI requires compared to the 120 to 140 hours per week that I had to put in to get this company where it is today for you? I only wish I had the counsel of this tape back then. The best part of this whole set of information is this. We have families all over the country that have achieved the very same benefits using the CMI concepts of time and money. If I have said it once, I have said it twice. You can actually buy as much time as you wish with money. The first step in regaining time has to be deciding what it is you really want to do with your life. What do you want to do with your time? In CMI, we take this one step further in you making the decision of how many hours per day to work. Think about it. What would you do with that 8 to 10 hours a day of time regained and under your control? Would you volunteer more? Would you spend more time with the family? How about starting a legacy business for the family? Oh, but if we gave up the job to have that time, then what about the money issue? Okay, fair enough. Think about this. Are any of you being paid what you feel you are worth with your present employer? Notice carefully the question I asked. How many of you feel that your employers are paying you what you feel you are worth? Where are you now in life? Are you ready to devote the necessary money to get what you want? It's now time for you to investigate and evaluate these solutions to your time money problem to see if these are workable solutions for your family. You do not want this to be another if only Ida in your life. Rest assured, we have families that have used this opportunity as their solution to their time money problem. How important is it to your family at this time in their life to solve this very challenge? Recognize that the time to act is now. Let me remind you of what I have already shared with you about time. The only difference between where you are now and where you will be 5 years from now is how you choose to use your discretionary time. Time and money are an important reality in all of our lives. It's a hard fact that without one, we cannot enjoy the other. Let this statement stay with you, if you will. It's now time for you to come into a different economic reality and realize it's about time and money. No pun intended, but thank you for your time today.
I just don't have the time. Boy, if I had the money. I don't think we have any excuses for making those statements any longer. We invite you to share these Founder Forums tapes with others who may be interested in obtaining additional financial education. CMI nor any of its representatives